Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most controversial, emotional, and thought provoking topics in relationships: why women's cheating often marks the absolute end of a relationship, while men's cheating sometimes doesn't. Now, before we go further, let's be clear: cheating hurts no matter who does it. Infidelity can shatter trust, crush emotions, and destroy the foundation of love. But here's the catch: society, biology, and psychology treat male and female cheating very differently. For centuries, cultures across the world have had different reactions when a man cheats versus when a woman cheats. And if you've ever wondered why it feels like a woman's betrayal is permanent, while a man's betrayal is sometimes forgivable, you're about to uncover the raw truth. So stay tuned, because in this video, we're going to break it all down. From evolutionary biology to female psychology, from social double standards to the emotional reality of betrayal. And by the end, you'll see why this difference exists and what it teaches us about human nature, relationships, and the choices we make. But here's the hook: this isn't just about understanding women. This is about understanding yourself, your boundaries, your expectations, and your role as a man in today's complex world of relationships. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's unpack the psychology behind why women's cheating ends everything, but men's doesn't. Part 1: The Evolutionary Blueprint. To really understand this, we've got to zoom out, way out. Long before modern dating apps, long before the concept of relationship goals, and even long before marriage was formalized by society, humans were just another species trying to survive and reproduce. And when it comes to reproduction, men and women faced very different biological realities. 1. Men's biological drive. For men, reproduction has always been relatively low cost. A man can, in theory, father dozens of children in a lifetime with little biological investment. From an evolutionary standpoint, spreading genes widely was part of survival. That's why male attraction patterns lean heavily toward physical variety and fertility cues, things like youth, beauty, and health indicators. It's why a man can be in love with his partner but still feel desire for other women. Now, this doesn't mean cheating is okay, but it explains why, historically, a man's infidelity didn't always mean he loved his partner less. Sometimes it was viewed as just physical. 2. Women's biological drive. For women, the stakes were completely different. Reproduction came at a very high cost. Pregnancy, childbirth, nursing all required enormous physical and emotional investment. That means, for women, choosing a partner wasn't just about attraction. It was about survival and security. A woman needed a man she could rely on for protection, provision, and long-term support for her and her children. Because of this, women evolved to seek emotional connection and stability more than variety. That's why, when a woman cheats, it often signals something much deeper than physical curiosity. 3. Why women's cheating hits harder. And here's the first key insight: when a man cheats, it's often seen as physical. When a woman cheats, it's often seen as emotional. And emotional betrayal shakes the very foundation of a relationship. If a woman gives her heart, her trust, her intimacy to another man, that usually means she's already disconnected from her current partner. That's why men across history, and even today, see female infidelity as the ultimate deal breaker. 4. The paternity problem. There's another brutal biological reality here: paternity uncertainty. Think about it. Before modern DNA tests, men could never truly be sure if a child was biologically theirs. A woman's infidelity created an enormous risk: raising another man's offspring unknowingly. For women, cheating didn't carry the same risk. If her husband cheated, she still knew her children were hers. But for men, the fear of being replaced genetically was devastating. This is one of the deepest reasons why women's cheating is viewed as the ultimate betrayal. It touches on the primal fear of being replaced as both lover and father. Part 2: Female psychology in modern relationships. We've looked at biology and history, but let's bring this into the modern day, because here's the truth. Even with dating apps, modern cities, and social media, human psychology hasn't changed that much. The instincts and emotions we carry today are still deeply tied to survival patterns from thousands of years ago. And when it comes to relationships, men and women approach cheating differently. One, women often leave emotionally before they leave physically. Here's something most men don't realize. By the time a woman cheats physically, she's often been gone emotionally for months or even years. Think about it. For many women, the physical act of cheating isn't about adventure or conquest. It's about finally giving in to an emotional connection they've already built elsewhere. That coworker she just clicks with. That old friend she suddenly reconnects with on Instagram. That stranger who gives her attention when she feels invisible at home. When women cheat, it's rarely impulsive. It's usually planned, emotional, and meaningful. And that's why it's so devastating for men. Because it's not just about the body, it's about her heart. 2. Men cheat for access, women cheat for replacement. Here's the blunt reality. Men often cheat for variety, the novelty, the thrill, the physical rush, but they can still love their partner and return to them afterwards. Women often cheat for fulfillment. They cheat because they feel something missing: emotional support, validation, attention, or intimacy. That means when a woman cheats, it's rarely just about fun. It's about finding what she no longer believes she has with her partner. For men, cheating is often about access. For women, cheating is often about replacement. And once she's found that replacement, the relationship she was in is usually already over. 3. Why men feel crushed by female infidelity. Here's where male psychology comes in. A man can sometimes forgive himself for straying physically because in his mind it was just a one-time thing. But when he imagines his woman in the arms of another man, it's soul-destroying. Why? Because deep down he knows that if she crossed that line, she didn't do it for fun. She did it because she wanted connection. She did it because she was looking for something he wasn't giving her. For men, that realization cuts deeper than the act itself. It's the idea that another man might now hold her loyalty, her softness, her devotion. And here's the brutal truth. Once a woman gives that side of herself to another man, she rarely comes back fully. Even if she stays physically, she's often already gone emotionally. 4. The subtle build-up. Cheating doesn't just happen overnight for most women. It starts with subtle steps. She stops sharing her feelings with you. She laughs a little too much at another man's jokes. She spends more time on her phone, less time with you. She slowly withdraws intimacy, affection, and attention. By the time the actual cheating happens, she's been drifting for a long time. And here's the trap. Many men don't notice the drift until it's too late. They think everything is fine because she hasn't complained or because the relationship seems stable. But in her mind, the walls are already collapsing. 5. Why women rarely cheat. Without replacing, studies show something fascinating. Women are less likely to have one-night stands compared to men, but more likely to form emotional affairs. That means when women cheat, they're not just testing the waters. They're building a bridge to somewhere else. It's not a fling. It's not a mistake. It's usually a sign she's already moving on. And that's why her cheating often marks the end. Because she doesn't cheat to add excitement. She cheats to transition. 6. Female loyalty and male blind spots. Here's the paradox. Women are incredibly loyal when they're in love. A woman who feels emotionally secure and cherished will stand by her man through the toughest storms. But once she feels unloved, ignored, or disconnected, her loyalty shifts. Men often underestimate this shift. They assume loyalty is permanent, that once a woman chooses you, she'll always be there. But in reality, loyalty is tied to how you make her feel. And once those feelings die, her loyalty doesn't just vanish. It often transfers to another man, to another possibility, to another life. And when that happens, her cheating isn't just an act, it's a declaration. I'm done here. Part 3. Cultural double standards. Up until now, we've talked about biology and psychology. But there's another massive factor shaping how we see cheating: culture. From ancient traditions to modern media, society has always treated male and female infidelity very differently. And whether we like it or not, these cultural double standards continue to shape our lives today. 1. Historical norms. Men's cheating was tolerated, women's was condemned. Let's rewind a few hundred or even a few thousand years. Across almost every civilization, from ancient Rome to tribal societies in Africa, there's a consistent theme. Men's affairs were often tolerated. A man could have wives, concubines, or mistresses. As long as he provided for his family and carried his responsibilities, society looked the other way. Women's affairs were punished severely. In many cultures, a woman caught cheating could be divorced, banished, or even executed. Why the difference? Because of the paternity problem we discussed earlier. A man needed to ensure the children he raised were truly his. Female infidelity threatened inheritance, family honor, and lineage. So culture built rules around it. Men's infidelity was framed as weakness, but women's infidelity was framed as betrayal. 2. The modern shift, but not completely fast forward to today. We live in a world of equality, freedom, and empowerment. In theory, men and women are judged by the same standards. But in practice, the old double standards are still alive. When a man cheats, people often say, he's just being a guy. When a woman cheats, people say, she destroyed her family. Even movies and TV shows reinforce this. A man who cheats is often portrayed as careless or selfish, but a woman who cheats is shown as cruel, manipulative, or emotionally cold. Society still instinctively reacts more harshly to female infidelity because deep down, that primal fear of paternity uncertainty hasn't gone away. 3. The social consequences are different. Another reason women's cheating feels like the end is the social fallout. When a man cheats, his friends may tease him, his partner may be furious, but often he still has social support. Other men may even shrug it off as normal. When a woman cheats, she faces far more isolation. Other women may judge her, family members may cut her off, and men may refuse to take her seriously in the future. Why? Because she's perceived as someone who withdrew loyalty. And in human relationships, loyalty is everything. 4. Emotional symbolism. What cheating means. Here's the key difference in cultural meaning. A man's cheating is seen as lust. It means he wanted variety, adventure, or ego boosts. A woman's cheating is seen as rejection. It means she no longer values her partner or her family. And rejection is far harder to forgive than lust. That's why people say, if a man cheats, it's a mistake. If a woman cheats, it's a choice. Fair or not, this cultural lens makes women's cheating feel like an ultimate, deliberate betrayal. 5. Why men forgive less easily. Because of these double standards, men often forgive female cheating far less often than women forgive male cheating. Studies show that women are more likely to stay with a partner who has cheated once, while men are far more likely to end the relationship immediately if their woman cheats. It's not just jealousy, it's about what it represents. For men, her betrayal represents loss of loyalty, loss of trust, and the ultimate humiliation. That humiliation is reinforced by culture, by friends, by family. And that's why men so often say, if she cheats, it's over. Part 4. Emotional vs. physical betrayal. Cheating isn't just one thing. There's physical infidelity, the act of sleeping with someone else. And then there's emotional infidelity, the act of giving your heart, your trust, and your deepest intimacy to someone else. And here's where it gets really interesting. For men, physical betrayal often feels like the worst thing imaginable. For women, emotional betrayal often feels like the deepest cut. But when women cheat, it usually combines both. And that's why it hits like a wrecking ball. 1. Men's fear, the physical image. When a man imagines his woman with another man, it destroys him. The physical image itself, her body, her intimacy, her loyalty being given away, feels unbearable. Why? Because for men, sexual exclusivity is tied to honor, pride, and certainty of fatherhood. That's why a man can sometimes forgive himself for cheating, but struggles to forgive his woman. Because in his mind, her body was his sacred space. Once it's shared with another, it feels permanently tainted. 2. Women's fear, the emotional replacement. For women, the situation looks different. A woman might fear her man's physical betrayal, but what truly crushes her is the idea that he might love someone else. That's why many women say, if he sleeps with someone else, maybe I can forgive. But if he falls in love with someone else, it's over. For women, emotional intimacy equals security. If a man gives his emotions, his time, his affection to another woman, she feels fully replaced. 3. Why women's cheating blends oin. Here's the harsh truth. Women's cheating rarely stays just physical. When a woman steps out of her relationship, it almost always includes emotional connection. She isn't simply chasing physical pleasure, she's chasing validation, affection, and attention. So when her man discovers her betrayal, he isn't just facing the physical act. He's facing the terrifying reality that she gave her mind, heart, and body to another man. That combination is what makes women's cheating so final. It represents total betrayal, emotional and physical at the same time. 4. Why men's cheating can be forgiven. Contrast that with men's cheating. Many men are capable of separating love from lust. A man might cheat in the heat of the moment, regret it afterward, and still love his partner deeply. This doesn't excuse the behavior, but it explains why some women stay. They sense that the act was meaningless and that their man hasn't emotionally checked out of the relationship. That's why men's cheating is often treated as repairable, while women's cheating is treated as fatal. 5. The double-edged sword of women's depth. Ironically, the same thing that makes women so powerful in love is what makes their betrayal so crushing. When a woman loves, she gives fully. Her attention, her support, her nurturing, it's all consuming. But when she cheats, it means she's redirected all of that depth towards someone else. That shift doesn't leave much room for coming back. And that's why men say, if she cheats once, she'll do it again. Because the loyalty that once belonged to him has already been transferred. 6. The irreversible shift. Psychologists call this emotional transfer. When a woman cheats, her emotional energy has shifted. She may still live in the same house, she may still share the same bed, but mentally and emotionally, she's already building a life elsewhere. This is why many men sense a finality in women's betrayal. It's not just about what happened in the moment, it's about what the act represents, that she's already halfway gone. Part 5. Lessons, motivation, and conclusion. We've unpacked a lot. From biology to psychology to cultural meaning, we now understand why women's cheating feels like the end, while men's sometimes doesn't. But here's the real question. What do we do with this knowledge? How do men use this understanding not just to avoid heartbreak, but to grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded in their relationships? Let's break it down. 1. Accept the harsh reality. The first step is acceptance. You can't change biology. You can't rewrite history. You can't fight human psychology. Women's cheating will always hit harder. It will always feel more final. And most of the time, it really does mean the relationship is over. That doesn't make women worse than men. It just reflects how differently men and women connect, love, and betray. So stop expecting fairness in this area. Life isn't fair. Relationships aren't symmetrical, and that's okay. 2. Understand female loyalty. If you're a man watching this, here's something you need to burn into your mind. A woman's loyalty is her greatest gift. When she loves you, she will give everything, her energy, her patience, her body, her future. But if she cheats, it's because she's already redirected that loyalty elsewhere. That means your job is not to control her, not to cage her, not to spy on her, but to create the conditions where her loyalty thrives. A loyal woman doesn't cheat. A disconnected woman does. 3. Recognize the signs before it's too late. Most men get blindsided because they don't pay attention. They miss the signals that her heart is drifting. She stops laughing with you. She spends more time on her phone. She withdraws intimacy. She becomes emotionally distant. By the time the cheating happens, she's already gone. The lesson? Don't wait until it's too late. Pay attention early. Address problems early. Communicate early. 4. Build yourself first. Here's the motivational core. Stop worrying about what if she cheats. Stop living in fear of betrayal. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who commands respect, love, and loyalty. Build your confidence. Grow your purpose. Stay disciplined. Lead with strength, but treat her with love. A strong man doesn't chase loyalty, he inspires it. And if she still cheats, then let her go. Because you can rebuild yourself, but she can't rebuild her loyalty once it's been broken. 5, don't beg, don't bargain, don't break. If you discover infidelity, here's the worst thing you can do: beg her to stay. Why? Because the moment you beg, you hand her your power. You tell her, even though you betrayed me, I can't live without you. That destroys your dignity. Instead, face it like a man, calmly, firmly, clearly. I know what you did. I can't accept it. I'm moving on. Simple, strong, unshakable. Because here's the truth: women respect men who respect themselves. 6, the stoic perspective. Think about Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Cheating is an outside event. You can't control it, but you can control how you respond. And that's where your power lies. Not in trying to change her, not in trying to reverse what's already happened, but in choosing dignity over desperation. 7, the final word. So, why does women's cheating end everything while men's doesn't? Because women cheat with their hearts, not just their bodies. Because culture reinforces it as betrayal, not mistake. Because loyalty once given away doesn't come back. But instead of seeing this as a curse, see it as clarity. It means you don't waste years trying to repair something that's already gone. It means you know when to walk away. It means you understand the rules of the game and play it like a man who values himself. So, to every man listening, respect loyalty, build yourself, pay attention. And if she cheats, don't crumble, don't chase, don't beg. Stand tall, walk away, and remember, a man's strength isn't measured by how tightly he clings, but by how firmly he lets go. Conclusion. At the end of the day, cheating is a wound no relationship wants to face. But by understanding why women's betrayal feels so final, you gain power. The power of awareness, the power of choice, the power to protect your heart without losing your strength. So the next time someone asks, why does women's cheating end everything? You'll know the answer. Because when a woman cheats, it's not just her body, it's her heart, her loyalty, her future. And once that's given away, there's no going back. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, the greatest loyalty you'll ever have is the loyalty you give yourself.